So, are you ready for the journey? Let's explore part 1 of the golden rule of writing. Make everything a journey. Actually, there are 2 types of journeys at all levels. First, there's the journey of the subject, whether it's a narrative piece about a character or the exploration of an idea. In either case, ask yourself, what is the character or issue at the beginning? Where do you want to take that character or issue by the end? And what steps do you offer for the characters or issues to move from that beginning point to the end point? Another kind of journey shows the progress of the reader or the audience, their experience, how they change by the very fact of their reading something. So, in that case, you want to know, what do the readers know at the beginning of the journey? And what do you want them to know by the end? And what steps do you offer for the reader to move from the beginning to the end, from that early state of understanding to that more complete state of understanding at the end? Let's get a little bit more detailed about the journey. So, what do we want the reader to know at the beginning, to get going on the journey? First, setting, context, and background. Who are these characters? What's the issue? What's the setup? What happened before? Second, ideas and ways of thinking. What are people's values? What do they consider normal? What do they take for granted? And finally, the 5 W's offer a quick summary at the beginning. Who, what, when, where, and why. Now, let's talk about the end of the journey. Where do you want to take the story or idea? Where do you want to take the reader? Here are 3 possibilities. First, make sure you reveal the big H, how the story or how the analysis turns out. Second, be sure that the reader has an aha moment. They understand the big idea, the big point of the whole piece. Finally, leave the reader with something to think about, especially if you're going to continue the conversation in another section of the current piece, or maybe even a sequel or follow-up piece. In the middle, obviously, are the steps that take you from one place, from the beginning, to another, the end. Describe each step that is essential to take the story where it needs to go. Also, provide signposts to guide the reader. A signpost could be a transition, or subheadlines, or shifts in focus, anything that helps the reader stay on track. Finally, you might need to define and explain key ideas and concepts and processes. There it is. It's as simple as that. Beginning, middle, and end. Keep these 3 pieces in your mind at all times. What about detours? Is it okay to take an occasional detour off the main road? Of course, sometimes we can understand a story or an issue better if we explore what happens off the main road. In a story, sometimes we learn about the character's major challenges by taking a side look at other challenges or other characters or other issues or other moments beyond the one immediately at hand. If you do take a detour, make sure that your diversion adds something to your story or analysis. Also, be sure to get back on that main road without losing the reader along the way. Now it's your turn. Write down the starting points and the ending points of your favorite stories. Note the 5 W's we meet at the beginning: who, what, when, where, and why. Then note the 5 W's at the end and how they change: who, what, when, where, and why. And then also note the H, how we got there.